Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Okay, well if you saw, I guess it would have been part 10, the video before this one. You would have seen I got all of the, well let me walk around there. I got all the head bolts all torqued down on this side. And so that's all done. Bolts and of course the rocker arm assembly. And I also, after that video, I adjusted all the rocker arms and the valves. And in my manual, it calls for 15 thousandths clearance between the rocker arm and the top of the valve stem right there. And so I got my feeler gauge out and got all them adjusted. And so what I'm working on this morning is getting the intercooler mounted back on. That's this piece right here. And so the fun job I had, there's a gasket that goes, in fact right there you can kind of see the bottom of it hanging out. Well, the fun job was trying to get that in there to hold in place, because I had thought about just simply taking some silicone, sticking it onto the side of the head, and then sticking the gasket on with that. Well, when you go to set this thing up in here, you're bumping into the head, trying to get, because you kind of got to go in, you got to go in high and then kind of drop down into it. Well, you're smacking into the head, and all that's going to do is end up knocking the gasket down or pushing it down. And then of course it'll throw off all of your bolt holes. So what I did, I just took one bolt down here in the bottom, put it in about right in the middle of the cooler, and then just put it in and then pulled the cooler out to the end of the bolt. That way there was some gap between this and the head. And then I took the gasket on the back here, then dropped it down so that the bottom of the gasket would sit on this bolt. And of course that gasket's real flexible. And so basically what it did was the bottom kind of rainbowed up, and that let me get the top corner holes lined up and put bolts in, one here, one here. And then once I got the two top corner ones in, I pulled this bottom bolt out. That way the gasket could fall out of the bottom. And so then I took these little basically an awl, and stuck through there. These here are the top holes. Yeah, you can't really see through there too well on the camera. And then that keeps the gasket held up at the top in the center until I can get the rest of the bolts in. And so, since these bolts already had never sees on them when I took them out, well, like I've said before, that would have been from when the tractor was major overhauled back there in the late 90s. Okay, that one don't look too bad. Figure I'll go ahead and put never sees back onto it. Okay, looking through there, that's not looking too bad. I'm going to go across here and put all the top bolts in. That way it holds the top of the gasket, everything's all in place. And then the bottom won't be too bad. Okay, that one don't look too bad. And then what I did right here on the thermostat housing, this piece here, there's a gasket that goes in between those two pieces, and I've already got it stuck in there. And I got the top 2 bolts holding that gasket in place until I get the cooler here rocked up, and then it'll get these 2 top holes lined up. But I want to get the intercooler all mounted in first. Okay, and this here is the last bolt. Well, for the top. I'll say one thing, that anti-seize, that stuff can spread all over. You'll have it all over your fingers and tools and wrenches and everything else before you know it. I'm not sure how, but it does. Okay, well, that's got all the top bolts in. Like I say, right there is the bottom part of the gasket, which shouldn't really be too bad. That's why I wanted to do all the top. That way, it's not that big a deal getting the bottom in, because you can simply just push it up, line up the bolt holes, and you're off and running. Probably go right here, approximately in the middle. That way it can help hold the gasket better. In fact, actually for that one, I need my socket. And there we are. It's easier to get a socket in that little cutout right there than it is trying to use my fingers. And so basically what I'm hoping today is to be able to get this thing pretty much all ready to go. This morning, my dad talked to the guy that is working on the injectors, and he's still waiting for a couple parts to come in. Because I was hoping he would have those today, but it doesn't sound like he's going to. But what I can do is get all this here done, all locked up, sealed up. I can get the AC condenser or compressor here put back on, That gets mounted back up in here in that bracket. And I can also get the exhaust manifold put back on. I just can't put the injector lines on until I get the injectors put in. Then I can put the lines in. And so I'll have it down to basically not a whole lot left to do on it. Yep. Better put the never sees on. And so once I get everything done on this that I can do, until I'm down to injectors, I'll take and, in fact, I was actually going to take and get video of it here the other day, until the guy that was working on the head called me and said that he had that new piston, sleeve, and wrist pin all in. And so I very quickly stopped what I was doing and ran up and got that. That way I could get that part put back into the motor. And so once I get done with what I can do on here, I'm going to get back to what I was doing on the combine. And that was belts. On the R72, I found, okay, I'm missing a bolt. Anyway, on the R72, I found three belts that were getting some pretty good cracks in them. And then I found one belt on the R52. And so I got the new belts on hand, and so I want to get them put in. There it is. In fact, that right there, that's the bolt that I had put here in the bottom to begin with. Okay, let's see here. And these bolts here, yeah, two of them go back here on the back side. And these two here on the step, they go up here in this thermostat housing. Trying to keep everything straight. But like I say, once I get this thing down to where all I have left are just the injectors, I'm going to go back to work on the combines, getting those belts all mounted up and put on. Okay. Well, I think we are coming down on it. I just gotta try and remember now these bolts here. Oh, I know. These two go here on the back into that. It basically bolts this bracket to the end of the cooler. The other four bolts go up here, the turbo line. That's why I didn't tighten down that thermostat bracket. That way I can wiggle that piece around. And I gotta watch, I'm actually whacking my camera right now against that bracket and this oil line. Okay, that's got that top bolt started. And that's got that one started. Oop. Smack the camera again. Okay. All right, that's got that one snug down. Let's go ahead and start spinning all these here down by hand till they kind of bottom out. And the bottom ones, they're not near as long, so it won't take that much to spin them in. In fact, I actually called a local mechanic just to see if he would have any suggestions on that gasket back there. And he told me what he does, or whenever he's had to work on it, is he'll take and put this and this piece here all together out here on the workbench, then put it on all together. Well, that would have been all well and good, but you got a metal line right here coming off of the water pump. In fact, that might be a bypass line. And so the only way to actually be able to get in there, well, to get this piece off that, was to take this here off, and then that way you could unbolt that, then kind of slip it backwards off that metal line and then out. And so that's why I had to put it back in two pieces with this piece here going on first. Just kind of take and snug all these up. I actually want to take and we can go ahead and hit these two here on that mount. I may have to get my small ratchet and long extension to get out here beyond this housing and slip down there and spin that one in. There's two bottom bolts, one here, and well, you got to come in between the rocker arms and with an extension and come out here and put your extension down through. There's like a cutout. You can put your extension all the way through the socket on the end and get that one bolt put back in. And so anyway, like I said, that's basically what I'm going to be doing today. I don't know, when I get ready to start working on the exhaust manifold, I may go ahead and grab a quick video of that too. So anyway, take care. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.